Hello, just a quick review of our Gibson Gold Top Slash guitar. It does make sense because the Slash Gold Top was an Epiphone. And this is a Gibson, but it's actually a made in China Gibson, so not a real Gibson at all. We got it from Alibaba, a seller called Kinghigher, and I dealt with Miss Sophia. Communication between us was really bad, but I just used PayPal, sent away my money, and luckily a guitar showed up. So I got a guitar and this case here, which has Gibson on it, for $310. So the case is $60, the guitar is about $250. You can haggle with them and get a different price or whatever, I don't know. But it's about $300 for this guitar and case. I got the case so that when I came across on the boat, the less likely to be damaged, so it came wrapped in styrofoam as well, so that neither the case or the guitar was damaged. Okay, anyway, it's got good tuning pegs. I would change the strings right away. The original strings came with some anti-corrosive stuff on it, so I changed them out right away instead of even trying to clean them or whatever. And the pegs are really tight. Just gonna turn it around here. The tuners, they don't say Gibson on them. I thought that they would, but they don't say Gibson on them. But they're super tight. I wouldn't consider buying another tuner. They hold tune well so far, and they're really tight, so they seem to be good. It has their embossed fake serial number and made in USA, which it isn't, but it's there anyway, just as a neat thing to have. The neck seems good. It's going down a little bit here. It's a set neck, as a Les Pauls are. It's not a fake bolt-on like some imitation Les Pauls are. Okay, I'll spin around. The front of the fretboard, the inlays are pretty well set in with some sort of plastic, but there's no gaps in them at all. They're pretty well done. It has side markings for the frets as well, your 3, 5, 7, 9, 12 and all that, and they're all correctly positioned and easy to read when you're playing the guitar. The frets are quite high. I don't know what size they are, if they're jumbo or not, but they're pretty big. They're not a small fret at all. They're pretty wide and tall fret. Okay, it's coming down a little bit. The guitar strap buttons are pretty shallow, so I don't know how well they held the strap. We haven't tried standing up yet, but they're not a very big button, so that's, if you want to stand up with it a lot, I might put a better button on there. Unless it is a locking button, I'm not sure. The switches are good. It seems to be, this is like an Epiphone switch, and it feels, it's very positive. It switches well, no noise when you switch it. The electronics are all really good. The picks are actually, quite on the hot side. They'll easily feedback and stuff when you play them, and also sound good too. So we're not gonna run out and buy new pickups right away, that's for sure. I thought I would, but they seem to be good. They look, they could be anything, but I wouldn't be surprised they're an Epiphone pickup. I'm not sure. I haven't had the back stuff to see what wiring it is either, so I'll be surprised if it's all Epiphone Guts, like pickups and wiring, but I'm not sure. I have to check for sure. The binding on the guitar is all good. It's actually a very well done job on it. It matches the pickup bezels and all that. And the cutout's nice. The neck's fitted well. There's a touch of extra clear coat on there, or polyurethane. I'm not sure what they use, probably polyurethane. And it's real thick everywhere. It's very well glossed and very well buffed out. Clear coat on it, so good that way. The back covers match the front, all the same white. And I'm not sure if the camera will pick it up or not, but there's gold flake in throughout the clear coat as well on the back. At first I thought it was overspray, but it's actually pretty uniform, so Looks pretty neat if you get it just right. It gets gold flake. The printing on the Gibson logo is all correct. It's all spelt correctly. I've seen some that are printed wrong. Don't make any sense, but this one's okay. See at the bottom button, it's not that great, but it might be a locking button. One odd thing is the body is 3 pieces of wood. It's one tiny piece here. See where it's cut there, and then a second piece is small as well. You can see at the bottom. Yeah, so this piece ends here, and then there's this middle piece, and then this major piece goes through kind of the neck joint and all this side of the guitar, and it's all covered in a big veneer. It has a knot in it. I'm not sure where they have a knot in it, but it does. But anyway, that's that for that. The front's all good. The gold top is very well done. There's one blemish right there, or imperfection if you want to call it, right there. And there's a couple smaller ones around, but other than that, it's pretty well done. Of course, wouldn't meet any Gibson standards ever, so you know right away it isn't a Gibson, so it's just kind of neat to have Gibson name on it and stuff like that, but you're not going to fake anybody or bullshit anybody to tell them it's a real Gibson and worth $2,000 or more. It's a good guitar, but has the flaws in it. So the pot controls here are all good. They don't have the needle indicator, but I see on the Slash model it didn't have them either, so this kind of came this way. Doesn't have a pick guard, which we would take off right away anyway, so which is good. There's no holes drilled or anything, so that's good. The screws for the bridge come in from the top down, which I thought was a mistake, but it's actually the same on the Slash model. They went in that way, which is odd, I thought. I've always seen them going through the bottom, but anyway, that's the way it is. The bridge is kind of lower quality. It has some funny buzzes, and we hear that G string. It's got a funny buzz. I think it's coming from either the bridge or I guess that'd be about it, because it's the strings action is quite high on it. We have to work on that. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but a lot of movement of the strings into the fretboard. And the nut here at the top, you can see, is a lot of room for the contacts. It should be about, I think, 10 thous minimum, and then 15's about right. So this looks to be about, 30 or 40. So it's about 3 times as much movement as it should be. So we'll have to fix that, which will make the action that much more better on this. It's already not too bad, but it'll improve the action. So if you do get one, I definitely take it to a guitar shop, and if they'll work on it, which I'm sure they would, I don't see why they wouldn't, get them to set it up and spend $100 on it to dial it in and get it working correctly. So it is a fake or whatnot, but since the very first Les Paul was made, they've been making fake Les Pauls. So just as a comparison, this $300 guitar is actually pretty good. In 1970s, mid-70s, you would get a guitar like this. Its version of the fake Les Paul. It's plywood body. It's okay. The string width is odd. They fit inside the pickup, so it's a smaller gauge or string width. The nut's thin as well, so if you have very small hands, it would work great, but for normal sized hands, it's very cramped to play. And the tuners are terrible. These are replacements. The original ones, they would flop around. You'd have a half a turn between tightening and loosening, and the pickups were not even real humbuckers. They're originally single coils and a humbucker pretend cover. So we replaced those with Epiphone. Here's another Epiphone switch. It looks a lot like the one on the other guitar. We replaced all the electronics with all Epiphone guts for this guitar. But anyway, just as an example, this guitar would cost $400 in the 80s or late 70s. And the other guitar, the Gold Top, costs $300 now. So you get a lot more guitar for your money when you buy a fake Les Paul. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed our video. I'll put some footage on of it being played with some Slash songs and whatnot from Gunshot 2010. And it's just a good project guitar. You can buy an Epiphone or a Fender Swire Affinity. You probably get the same value, but it wouldn't be a gold top. The original Slash gold top Epiphone was about $1,000. So, I mean, I'd get one of those if I get one, but they don't make them anyway, so I'm not sure what you're gonna do. But one more thing, the trusser works great, but the second screw down here, it barely has any wood to go into, so you have to be careful on that. It's very thin. I see that is standard on some Gibsons, the older ones, but the newer ones, of course, have 3 screws. But I'm sure the Gibson one will have more wood there. This one has very little wood, so no big deal. Just carefully take off the truss rod cover, but it adjusts fine. It uses a smaller millimeter Allen head wrench, but you can adjust it no problem. Okay, hope you enjoyed our video. If you decide to buy one, good luck to you. Good, have lots of luck getting one. It's not a bad deal, so it's fun to check out if you're into a good project guitar, or just hang on your wall. Tell everybody you have a Gibson, they'll never know the difference. Okay, have a great day. Bye-bye.